We're about to pull back the curtain on a silent language, one that's running underneath every single human interaction you have. See, it's a system of power, but it has nothing to do with what you say. It relies on just two things: the physical space you occupy and the stillness with which you hold it. This isn't about being the loudest person in the room, not at all. It's about finally understanding the unspoken rules that decide who gets heard and why. You know, that's not some fluffy motivational quote. It's a surprisingly precise description of a real psychological mechanism. It points to a fundamental truth. Genuine influence isn't projected through volume. It's projected through stillness and the command of physical space. So today, we're going to expose the entire system of alpha posturing, these subtle, almost invisible behaviors that people use to instantly signal their status and completely change the dynamic of a room before anyone says a single word. All right, let's start with this paradox of quiet power. It's a feeling I bet you've had, but maybe you couldn't put your finger on it. It's that feeling that the rules of a social game are just fundamentally tilted against you, and you have no idea why. It's like there's a game being played with a set of rules you were never taught, but you're still being judged by them every single day. I mean, really think about it. You're in a meeting, right? You've done your homework, you've got the data, you bring a genuinely valuable idea to the table, and then poof, it just vanishes into thin air. You speak, but it's like you're not even heard. Meanwhile, someone else in the room, maybe someone who contributes way less, they command everyone's attention with just a look or a slow, deliberate gesture. Let me tell you, that experience of being chronically undervalued, even when you're giving maximum effort, it is not in your head. There's a system at play. So here's what's really going on. That feeling of being overlooked isn't just bad luck. It is a direct result of unconscious physical signals. See, when we're under pressure, our bodies automatically default to these low-power postures. Hunching the shoulders, fidgeting with a pen, avoiding eye contact. These are ancient, hardwired signals of anxiety. And in the primal language of social dynamics, anxiety is read as weakness. And other people, they pick up on these cues instantly. And just as instantly, they devalue whatever you're about to say. And this is what creates this vicious, powerful psychological trap. When you're faced with someone who's projecting dominance, your brain flags a potential risk it calls identity threat. This is that deep gut-level fear of what might happen if you actually challenge them, right? Are you going to be embarrassed? Is your reputation going to take a hit? So to avoid that risk, your brain pushes you towards the safest, lowest energy option available. Just comply, stay silent. And that's how you get locked in a cycle where your silence just validates their dominance, reinforcing the very power imbalance that's making you feel small. Okay, so let's shift gears now. We've talked about the feeling, now let's talk about the framework. Look, this isn't some kind of magic. It's a machine. It's a social system with predictable inputs and outputs that has been running for thousands of years. So let's pop the hood and break down the actual mechanics of how this silent dominance is built and maintained. This whole system runs on three, and only three primary currencies. First up, expansion. Literally how much physical space you claim. Think about someone leaning way back, spreading their arms across the back of the couch. Second is symmetry, a balanced, open, non-defensive posture. Your torso is exposed, your arms and legs are uncrossed. And third, and this is the big one, stillness, the total elimination of all those small, anxious, fidgety movements. Put them together, and these three signals scream two things. I control resources, and I have zero internal anxiety. So the opening move in this whole game is adopting what's called a high power pose, or HPP. Now, whether it's on purpose or totally subconscious, when somebody takes on an expansive, open, and still posture, they're sending out a powerful nonverbal broadcast to everyone. And the message is simple and primal. It says, I am calm, this environment does not threaten me, my internal state is solid. And this signal of low stress, it's instinctively interpreted by every other brain in the room as a sign of high status and total control. So get this, because this is the leverage point. This is the core rule of the entire dynamic. Power isn't about frantic energy or talking a mile a minute. It's about efficiency of motion. In any given social group, the person who can command the most physical territory while exhibiting the least amount of movement is, subconsciously, assigned the highest rank. It's a perfect inverse relationship. The more you move, the less power you project. The less you move, the more control you seem to have. Stillness is what tells everyone you've already assessed the threat and neutralized it. And here's where this system locks itself in. It's a powerful feedback loop. It all starts when one person projects that common control. Now, step 2 is the critical part. The group subconsciously reads those signals and grants deference. What does that mean? They literally yield physical space, they give their focused attention, they look away first, and they wait for that person to speak. This act of deferring then validates the initial projection of power, cementing it as social reality. An internal feeling of calm has just become an external, confirmed social rank. And this contrast just shows you the trap of trying too hard. On one side, you got high output behaviors, rapid nodding, fidgeting, talking really fast, all things you do to show you're smart and engaged. But how's it perceived? As high anxiety. The result? You get undervalued. On the other side, you have what's called conspicuous calmness, slow, deliberate movements, and a steady, unbroken gaze. And how's that perceived? As strategic control. The result? You're granted status. The exact same situation, two completely different outcomes, and it's all decided by nonverbal cues. Now, this dynamic doesn't always stay passive. It can get ramped up into a direct challenge. And this is the moment control truly shifts. A dominant person might use a visual or spatial interrogation. That sustained, unbroken eye contact that dares you to look away first. Or maybe they subtly encroach into your personal space. These actions are designed to make you uncomfortable, to force you into a deference ritual, looking down, shifting away, literally making yourself smaller. The second you do that, you have non-verbally just conceded your status. Okay, so we've seen how it works. But the big question is why? Why does this stuff work so well, so reliably? Well, the answer is in how these physical signals totally bypass our rational thoughts and speak directly to the oldest, fastest, and most powerful parts of our brain. Look, our brains are wired for one thing above all else: efficiency. They evolved to make split-second judgments to save energy and, keep us alive. Who's a friend? Who's an enemy? Who's in charge here? We don't have time to run a detailed analysis on every person we meet, so the brain uses these mental shortcuts, heuristics, to make these calls in milliseconds. Alpha posturing is so powerful because it's a perfect status heuristic. It gives the brain a quick, easy answer to the question, who holds the power? In fact, two specific cognitive traps are being hijacked here. The first is the primacy effect. It's simple. The very first nonverbal impression you give frames every single interaction that comes after. If that first impression is one of calm power, the brain will filter everything you do through that lens. The second is the authority bias. Our brains just instinctively assume that people who appear calm and still must be competent and worthy of leading. We literally equate low anxiety with high capability. And there's another crucial cost here. Being in the presence of someone who is projecting this intense, calm dominance it's mentally exhausting. It imposes a massive cognitive load on you. Your brain is constantly monitoring them, trying to figure out what they're going to do next, all while managing your own anxiety. After a while, that just becomes incredibly taxing. And you know what the easiest way to get relief is? You just concede. Submission becomes a way to just reduce your own mental burden. So, we've dissected the problem, the mechanics, and the psychology behind it. Now we're getting to the solution. And this isn't about learning how to dominate other people. It's about understanding the system so you can navigate it effectively and refuse to be a victim of it. This is the tactical countermeasure. And that really is the central question, isn't it? Knowing how the machine works is one thing, but what do you actually do in the moment when you feel that pressure? Well, the answer isn't to get louder or more aggressive. That's just another kind of high output behavior. The answer is to fight stillness with stillness. And this is a strategic protocol, not just a piece of advice. This is the Space and Stillness Protocol. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, recognize the signal in your own body. The second you feel yourself tense up, shrink, or start to fidget, that's your trigger. Step 2, reciprocate. Calmly and deliberately, you match their posture. If they're expansive, you don't shrink. You stay open. You stay still. You mirror their claim to space. And step 3, deny submission. You make a conscious choice not to be the first one to break eye contact or to give up your ground. This isn't about escalation. It is about holding your space. Now, to make this protocol actually work, you have to clean up your own broadcast. This means you systematically identify and eliminate your own low-power tells. So stop fidgeting with pens or your phone. Replace that rapid, excessive nodding with a single, slow, deliberate nod of understanding. Become aware of those self-soothing gestures like touching your neck or your face, and just stop. And listen to your own voice. Do you end your sentences with an upward inflection like you're asking a question? Lower your tone. And finally, plant your feet. Stop shifting your weight around. Every one of these little tells broadcasts anxiety. Removing them projects control. And let's be really clear, the goal here is not manipulation. In fact, there is a powerful, ethical way to use this knowledge. Just imagine a team in a crisis. Panic is rising. The leader who can master this conspicuous calmness, the one who stays still, open, and deliberate while everyone else is freaking out, they don't just look like they're in control. They become a calming anchor for the entire group. This is how you build genuine trust and what's known as referent power. That's leadership that is freely given to you, not taken by force. So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Volatility is vulnerability. Stability is the most valuable power resource there is. True sustainable influence doesn't come from noise, and it definitely doesn't come from frantic effort. It comes from the ability to remain calm, centered, and still when the pressure is on. So the final question really isn't about what you say. It's about how you move. How much power are you giving away without ever speaking a single word?